So you need to know where this guy's at because he is sneaky, fast, and makes plays.
Their chances for the Big 12 title are not gone, by the way.
Hey guys, Tim Brando's not the only celebrity in Lincoln. Dwayne Wade and his lovely wife, Gabrielle Union there as well. Gabrielle's a Nebraska native and clearly a Husker fan.
We had a special group at UCF last year. I'm really looking forward to building the same type of culture at Nebraska and sharing some special moments with the guys in Lincoln.
He's a championship winning quarterback, you know. You want to be just like the guy, you know, so you want to go in there and outgrind, you know, what they've done in the past, and, you know, bring that old Nebraska back.
Every day he comes to work, he gives us his 100%, and you know, he's always intense, always focused, and you can tell he just really loves what he does.
I've had a lot of coaches in my time playing football my whole life, and I don't think any of them are as competitive as he is. He brings that culture to the team.
There's no place like Nebraska, one of the most special game day environments in the country. We got the most supportive fans in the country. It's awesome to go to work and be able to play in front of that type of fan base, and we're going to try to give them something to be proud about this year.
You know you're big time when you're the head coach and you're still selling jerseys. Right? The old number 7, Scott Frost, making their way through Lincoln, getting ready for Nebraska and Akron. And we are going to go to Scott Frost's first tunnel walk as head coach at Nebraska. Really excited about that. Coach, as the Nebraska program was starting to dip, Scott Frost's coaching acumen was rising at the same time, and he just felt this draw to pull him back to Lincoln. And he couldn't really say no to Tom Osborne, his former coach, couldn't say no to the fan base, couldn't say no to his family. So here he is back in Lincoln. What do you want to see from game one under him?
Well, you know, we'll have to all wait and see what they do on offense and defense. But from a team standpoint, you want to see fanatical effort, and you want to see a minimal amount of penalties. You know, you want everybody to be disciplined football. Offensively, what you want tonight, hey, whether it's run or pass, protect the football. Defensively, don't give up any big plays. I don't care what coverage or blitz or whatever you do, just be safe. Don't give up the big plays. If they can get that done tonight, they should win the football game, and they'll have a good foundation to build going forward.
Yeah, I think you're right, Coach. I mean, you protect the football. You got a true freshman quarterback starting. You want to see him just play fast and don't let the atmosphere be too big for him defensively. I think we're all curious to see how they look. And for me, just as a former player and watching this and embrace the emotion of this game, this is a great feeling for Nebraska. Scott Frost is back. These players are excited. Nebraska fans are excited. So for me, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because this is a big opportunity. Embrace the emotions. Don't let it get too big for you, but enjoy it. This is an exciting time for Nebraska.
There's a live look at what you see, the colors, the lights going off, ready to open up that door. The state of Nebraska has been waiting for this, guys. And you hear the music starting in the background. Little Alan Parsons project.
Little Chicago Bulls,
Serious,
coach, huh?
man, this song gets me going, man. Where's Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
There it goes.
Even the security guards pumped up for this one. Now the officials leading their way out. Watch out, boys. Here come the big folks. And there's Scott Frost.
First time he's walked that walk, you know.
But in a different capacity tonight. Smile, enjoy it, Scott.
Nothing in the world like college football.
Enjoy it, Nebraska. He's back for the call. Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman.
A generational coach, Rob Stone. Perfect time, perfect moment. The 33rd head coach in the illustrious history of this fine institution, Scott Frost. And tonight, the homestanding Huskers play host to the Akron Zips from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. No better place to be, ladies and gentlemen, in prime time on Fox. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Brando. By my side, Spencer Tillman. Holly Saunders, you'll hear from shortly. I mentioned generational moments, Spencer, because there's no question this young man has a chance to be, and I believe he will be, the most impactful Division I coach in college football since Nick Saban was hired in Tuscaloosa 11 years
That's
ago.
strong, Timmy, and I'll tell you why you're right. You and I talk often about how tradition is the currency of college football. Nebraska has it in spades, to be sure. 5 national championships, 110 first-team All-Americans, 3 Heisman Trophy winners, 5 Lombardi winners, and the key is Scott Frost knows how to leverage every bit of that. He comes in arriving already with head coaching experience. It kind of reminds me how he's ahead of Bob Stoops. When he arrived in the Big 12 Conference, we know how that ended up, the all-time winning coach in Oklahoma history. But he'll have to do it. The journey begins with the freshman, Adrian Martinez. Yes, Martinez is the guy, hadn't thrown the ball in a while. I'm almost so excited about it. I'm ready to go fight somebody. He reminds us a lot of Marcus Mariota, who Frost actually captained back in the time when he was calling plays with them at Oregon. It's an exciting time.
Time now for the Progressive Insurance Free Kick Flow. Think about it, Spencer. National championship quarterbacks here. Jerry Taggy in the 70s, Tommy Frazier, and then Scott Frost. And now it's Husker Mania, Frosty Mania. And Holly Saunders, it began a long time ago.
Tim, it has been Scott Frost mania since he returned to Lincoln. A local grocery store welcoming back with a soda display. A magazine produced an action figure. Now he's in good shape. You'll agree that thing is jacked. And you can see that line of thousands wanting to meet him. December 2nd, 2017. That is the day that all of these fans you see here will not forget, because it's the day that Scott Frost accepted the head coaching gig to come back to his alma mater. I asked him yesterday if he expected this overwhelming support and hype, and he actually said in an ego-less way, yes, he did. Because the 2 most recognizable figures in the state of Nebraska are the quarterback and the head coach of the Cornhuskers. He's now been both. Guys, we know that hype is one thing, now results, Tim.
No question about it, Holly. And the Akron Zips will be on the other side tonight. Incredible moment. Weather is a factor, as it has been much of this day in the heartland and along the East Coast. Forecast is for possible thunderstorms. The major cell, they say, will come after 9 Central Time, 10 Eastern Time. Nebraska won the toss and will receive. Jerry Fitchen will kick it away. He's a redshirt sophomore. And this new generation at Nebraska is underway with a touchback. J.D. Spillman lets it go through the end zone. And we bring out the Huskers that have won 31 of their last 32. And this young man, Adrian Martinez, becomes the first ever true freshman to start an opening game. There have been 2 others that started as true freshmen. Illustrious names, too. Tommy Frazier in 92, Cody Green 2009. Well, I mentioned the Huskers, 31 of their last 32 lost to BYU on a Hail Mary back in 2015. And just as we were ready to go, the first bit of lightning.
Wow.
Which means we'll, after all that emotion, and maybe the fireworks help bring some of that thunder from the sky. And now it appears that they're going to have to call both teams in. The Zips, of course, coached by Terry Bowden, who has been to the mountaintop himself, once won 20 consecutive games when he took over at Auburn. He was 42 years old, and in fact, when Scott Frost played for a national championship, it was against Tennessee after Peyton Manning had beaten Terry's Auburn team in the SEC championship.
Well, he's got all kind of experience in these situations, and that's where it's going to serve you well. Scott Frost has played in these scenarios at the NFL level and the collegiate level, but what Terry has is that old sage wisdom. He's going to try to leverage all he can. Again, he's done a tremendous job in the time he's been there at Akron, Timmy, but he's not come to this level and faced a team like Nebraska in what now officially today is the third largest city, this stadium, Memorial Stadium, in Nebraska.
Amazing to think that we were just giving the forecast and we had some lightning in the area, and as you know, what that always means, teams will vacate the premises. At least a 30-minute delay from the last lightning strike is the way the rules work. Did suddenly Bruce Feldman come to our game?
Well, it was raining on Bruce today in their call.
Well, he had 2 of them last year I know about, including one that lasted 3 hours in East Lansing.
Well, hopefully this one doesn't. It looks like the skies are clear to our north side, but again, it's coming down in droves. It's really dark back this way, so hopefully the weather is moving the opposite direction. We can get this underway.
The earlier cell that came that forced our start about 10 minutes late, we were scheduled to kick at 7:15 local time, was actually a smaller cell to the north of Lincoln. This major cell that's coming through is coming from the south. So we could be in for some delay. About the only thing that I never did in television locally was this.
Oh, come on, man. I can do this.
We were using Marks-a-lots, I think, when I was doing local television.
Well, look, here's the deal. You've got a trough, a low line of pressure that's making its way down this area. And you can see the green highlighted area. That's where the central part of the rain, the heaviest part, and then the purple area, that's where it's concentrated. That's where you want to stay clear of, and that's the reason why they're so concerned. You're talking about it's not just head issues on the field. They're making sure they're taken care of with the weather and rail.
I really knew you could handle that. Lower level troughs is your baby.
Right. Or a line of low pressure. There you go.
I like that. You've been dealing with high pressure for 20 of the 21 years that we've been together.
Speaking of high pressure, this is a high pressure scenario for both coaches, and it becomes the psychological battle, how you prepare them for these scenarios.
One of the things to think about, both of these teams are spread teams. Went downstairs before the game. In fact, it was at the time when they called the teams off after an earlier lightning strike. Went down to the locker room, saw Jeff Bowden and Terry Bowden, and Terry said, you know, all of those east-west opportunities where you have maybe jet sweeps or reverses, motion guys, what you have to think about as a coach, particularly with young quarterbacks, and he's got one too in Cato Nelson that he's really seen start for the very first time to open a season. He started 6 games a year ago, is that you need to take away some of those ball fakes with guys in motion. So in other words, run the same play, but maybe keep those backs or whoever's going to get it near your quarterback out of the shotgun to alleviate some of the ball handling compromise that you can find.
Well, I think, ironically, from an offensive standpoint, Tim, it won't adversely affect them as much. It's the back end of Nebraska, which struggled mightily last year, who's going to have to identify what those responsibilities are relative to those motions. And they're in a static position. They're lined up. You're playing man coverage. You know exactly where they're going to get. If you need a heads up, maybe a quarterback puts him in motion that gives you some sense of what the coverage is going to be. But first of all, it's about diagnosing the play. But before we even get to that point, we got to deal with the emotions that have been affected by this stoppage.
Yeah, remember now, these fans, noted as some of the nicest, most loyal, they're a little angry now, and they really like their head coach, the one they've been waiting on to finally get here. This is what we saw just moments ago. Yes, he has new school swagger, but an old school respect.
So you got to remember, this was preceded by the T-38 fighter jets that went over just before. And I'm telling you, it was at a fever pitch. My memory just went zero. The minute I felt it, man, the hair was standing up on the back of my neck. And Scott Frost, I could play for this guy. He's my kind of coach.
Just listen to this, will you? It's unbelievable as he gets close to that tunnel. And you can witness Tanner Farniak, the lineman, come to him. This is your moment, Coach. How about that? Take a look. You know, I asked him in our meeting yesterday, what would you be thinking? And he said, only about coaching my team.
That's right. Well, he's focused, but let me tell you, you can only be first once, and he knows that. This is not a prodigal scenario. You're reliving the emotion of something that's going to happen one time. And again, the freshman quarterback that he's going to start with, it will be the first time in Husker history that a true freshman will start under center. Those can only happen one time, Tim.
Earlier today, we were in Terry Bowden's locker room, And as we touched on, he knows a thing or two about coming into Lincoln. He did as a graduate assistant with his dad when his father came in 1980 and in 1985 and won in this building. Here's what Coach Bowden said to his team, the Akron Zips head coach.
Something great's going to happen today. It's going to be everybody. It's going to take everybody if something great's going to happen today. And it's going to happen. Bring them on in. All right, man, listen up now. We talked about it last night. This is the kind of game you live for to play in a stadium like this, in a crowd like that. This is what we play for. Let's pull together, men. Let's be together. We got to win as a team. There won't be a fan in that stadium that believes you win, except maybe your mom and dad. There won't be a fan up there. But men, if we believe in this room, that's all it takes. We got to believe we're going to win this game. Now, if that rain comes, protect and strip. Strip and protect. Protect and strip. Great upsets, great wins come from whoever wins the turnover margin. Whoever wins the turnover margin. Rush the PAT, rush the field goal, rush the punt because the ball snaps. Let's go get us a turnover. Let's go win the turnover game to win this game. Men, if they start fast, they're a tiptoe team. Sometimes they get cranked early and it slows down. How many games did you see today? I saw a million. Somebody jumps out and the other team wins. So it's going to be a 60-minute ball game. It's going to take 60 minutes to win this ball game. And that's what it's going to take for each of us. 60 minutes. You can't, one play at a time, man. One play at a time. Hey, to win this game, we ain't got to win every play. We just got to win the most plays. To win the most plays, one play at a time. You play everybody together. Forget the last one. Don't think about the next one. Let's focus on that one play. And you play as hard as you can. And you play together. And you communicate. And you love each other. And you pull together. And you pull together. And when this thing is over, men, that picture you took on that field before the game, we'll put that score on that picture. Yeah. You put that score on that picture, because that's what we took it for. Yeah. You know that's what we took it for. And men, one thing, so why do you play this game? Because you love it. Let's go.
He brought him in with blue blazers, old school.
Let's play.
You know, he's in his 25th year in coaching, Spencer, and to get back in after he did television with my dearly departed friend John Saunders in the studio over at ABC. He did 10 years of TV and then got back into coaching. He went to Division II to do it.
Didn't matter.
Now, that means you really want to coach. Went to North Alabama. Now it comes to Akron. They were a doormat, and he turned them into division champions. And now in his 25th year, he really believes, you know, his dad didn't win his first national title until he beat Tom Osborne in the Arch Bowl. He was 63. Terry's just 62. He'll tell you that right now. Your thoughts on what he had to say, and he really covered a lot of the bases, including the weather.
Well, players come in all stripes, sizes, and attitudes, and the thing I noticed, I'm looking for what's relevant, okay? Yeah. The turnover margin he talked about was right on point. That's got to be something they do. They were plus 10 in that category last year that helped win the division of their MAC championship. So that was the key for them. If they can do that and come out and deny some possessions for Nebraska, that's going to give them an opportunity to keep those numbers down around 75 to 80 or so. If they can do that, they've got a fighting chance because they can spread you out too now.
I think we can say something about the MAC already as we go back to the studio. Appalachian State and others, of course, have had some moments against Penn State today, and the MAC attack is underway here in Lincoln. Let's get to Rob Stone in our studios.